How are you preparing DTDC in today's context for the logistics industry?
If any nation wants to build progress, real development, it can never happen without the development of the logistics and supply chain capabilities. जैसे देश exponentially grow करने वाला है, हमारी नई avenues, नए growth, नई चीजें exponential होंगी, जो DTDC को भी capable बनाएगी और उसके साथ-साथ हमारे consumers को, customers को भी capable बनाएगी.
How do you see in today's context that the new challenge has come for the tariffs?
The tariffs.
Reciprocal tariffs.
Tremendous tariffs.
The reciprocal tariff rate.
The tariffs.
That if there are people placing hurdles in your path, it's because they expect big things from you. We were very much on our track to reach $1 trillion worth of export. And I think Indians have shown post-COVID that how resilient we are and what we are capable of.
How do you see your personal journey all the way starting from IIM and choosing driving the family business and taking this legacy ahead?
मैं तो एक ही चीज कहता हूँ सबको, I like to be called a 41-year-old CEO of a 35-year young company. And they sometimes think legacy is a bad word. I say legacy is a fantastic word because legacy gives you so much of pride. Legacy gives you such fantastic history. There hasn't been a moment where I've had to feel like, यार अब तो सब कुछ ही हो गया, करने को क्या ही रह गया. Every day we are learning, every day we are pushing our boundaries. Today, DTDC is the first Indian and probably the only Indian multinational express logistics company. Yes. And we take that responsibility very seriously.
What is exactly your plan to the latest transformation you have started for the rapid commerce?
We understood very clearly that the new age Indian consumer wants things faster. जो चीजों के लिए वो wait नहीं कर सकते, वो wait नहीं कर सकते. So we are creating integrated dream stores that are blended with our large supply chain of 600 facilities of our own, 16,500 facilities of our partners. We'll be able to give them the 2-hour, 4-hour deliveries that they need, because at the end of the day, you need to do speed, but at a cost which is very reasonable.
How do you paint DTDC's picture into it as a CEO?
My goal is in 2047, every day, more than 75% of Indians should get to touch and experience DTDC and its related businesses in their lives.
So how do we see DTDC become a challenger for those giants? नमस्कार दोस्तों, लॉजिस्टिक्स शक्ति के पॉडकास्ट चैनल में आपका एक बार फिर से बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। जैसा हमारा आपको प्रॉमिस है, कमिटमेंट है, वादा है कि हम लॉजिस्टिक्स इंडस्ट्री और सप्लाई चेन फंक्शन से जुड़े हुए उन तमाम सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस लीडर्स और प्रोफेशनल्स को आपको इंट्रोड्यूस कराते हैं, जिनकी लाइफ से, जिनके इंटरेक्शन से हम और आप मिलके कुछ सीख सकते हैं और अपने करियर में और अपने बिजनेस प्रोफेशन में उन लर्निंग को इम्प्लीमेंट करके और हायर सक्सेस ले सकते हैं। तो उसी सीरीज में जिनसे मैं आज आपको मिलवा रहा हूं, वो हिंदुस्तान की लॉजिस्टिक्स इंडस्ट्री के बहुत ही डायनामिक लीडर हैं। ही हैज बीन अवार्डेड एज फॉर्चून अंडर 40. ही इज बीन अवार्डेड एज 100 इमर्जिंग वॉइस ऑफ इंडिया, एंड ही इज वन ऑफ द top 50, I must say, one of the top leader in franchising world in India. More than his learning from IIM and other, he has most learning would have come from his father, who has founded India's one of the largest and the oldest network, and today which is covering 96% population of the country. Not only the India, it is a globally renowned name in Indian industry, powered with 16,500 channel partners, serving across the country and across the globe. आपको नाम का आइडिया हो ही गया होगा कि मैं बात कर रहा हूं आज DTDC एक्सप्रेस लिमिटेड के बारे में, और उनके लीडर जो उस कंपनी को लीड कर रहे हैं, सेकेंड जनरेशन लीडर हमारे बीच में हैं, मिस्टर अभिषेक चक्रवर्ती, CEO of DTDC. So help me welcome Abhishek. Thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you so much.
Of Logistics Shakti.
Thank you. इतने अच्छे शब्दों में आपने हमारे बारे में कहा कि it's really touching. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure being here.
Same here. So let's start from the discussion. हम थोड़ा top down discussion करते हैं.
Sure.
How do you take it the entire logistic outlook of the India, and how are you preparing DTDC in today's context for the logistics industry?
Amit, if I have to say in a few words, I think this is absolutely the golden period of Indian logistics. And that's true because it's actually the golden period for Indian economy, Indian businesses. The way India is growing, not just the percentage of growth we deliver, but the modes through which we grow. The new businesses that are being launched, the new business models that are being tested out. Look at the Indian diaspora, not just within India, across the world, and their expectations that are being met. The new generation and the way they are looking at convenience and solutions. And ultimately, what might have been seen before as a disadvantage, the population of India, today that population and the youth of that population is the main reason why consumerism and all the ideas that are coming forward are being accepted. So with this kind of an environment, I don't think any other nation on this planet right now has as many factors that are working for it. Okay. And that's why India is growing, that's why India is creating, that's why India is building. And as we all know, if any nation wants to build, create, see fundamental progress, real development, it can never happen without the development of the logistics and supply chain capabilities. And therefore, it is no surprise that as India is growing and developing, India's supply chain and logistics industry is growing. And if we are talking about a Viksit Bharat dream of 2047, then I think 10 years before that, a completely Viksit logistics and supply chain backbone will be created. And DTDC is doing a lot in that space. We realize that our responsibility now is not just another player, but we are thought leader. We are here to co-create with our consumers, with our customers, our brands. At the same time, we are on various levels of conversation with the right participants from government and various infrastructural elements which are there. Because we know it's ultimately public-private partnership together that is going to create this success. Mm-hmm. And in DTDC today, whether it be the launch of our products or the way in which we are creating our new solutions, the investments that we are making on technology, on infrastructure, they ultimately meant not just to cater to the consumers of today, but the consumers that are going to come. And in line of that, a lot of new launches and new products that we're doing. And in a nutshell, if I were to say, we are on what we call as Vision 2030, Express to Exponential. हमारी अभी तक की 35 साल की जर्नी एक्सप्रेस को लेके थी, कुरियर को लेके थी, कार्गो को लेके थी. लेकिन हम जानते हैं कि जैसे देश एक्सपोनेंशियली ग्रो करने वाला है, हमारी नई एवेन्यूज़, नए ग्रोथ, नई चीज़ें एक्सपोनेंशियल होंगी, रिलेटेड होंगी, लेकिन एक अलग धारा में जाएंगी, जो DTDC को भी कैपेबल बनाएगी और उसके साथ साथ हमारे कंज्यूमर्स को, कस्टमर्स को भी कैपेबल बनाएगी to be successful. So that's the mission.
Absolutely. When we are, shooting this podcast in today's context, the biggest, while this, as you mentioned, the huge opportunities are there, economy is growing, and similarly, the Viksit logistics we are talking about. But at the same time, challenges are also coming up. The recent challenges of global realignment of different powers. Yes. Power order getting changes, and different avenues also need to be found as far as international freight or international courier movement is concerned. Cross-border logistics are concerned. How do you see in today's context with the new challenge has come for the tariff and different kind of wars going on? How do you see this is going to reshape the Indian logistics industry or courier industry per se?
Sure. No, it's a very timely question, Amit, because I'm sure when those announcements happened through the month of August and happened in such a knee-jerk manner, at least I don't think in the history of economies, these kind of fast decisions were taken in the way in which they were taken. We can all debate whether they are right or wrong for that nation or this nation. All I can say is that if we really think about it, maybe the fact that these are extreme reactions is also a symbolism of the fact that how strong we are, how strong India has become. Think about before COVID, what was India's export? We are well on our track, barring this little bit of a blip. We were very much on our track to reach $1 trillion worth of export. What is the trade deficit that India carries today? Far lesser than what we used to have 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So in some ways, I've always believed that if there are people placing hurdles in your path, it's because they expect big things from you. They know probably you have the muscle power to do something about it. So I see it not as a negative sign. I see it as a sign for us to become stronger. The whole industry is coming together on it, whether it be the trade side of the industry or us as logistics and supply chain players. And to put a little bit in context, if we take this one nation with whom this larger part of the trade war is being fought, the India-US trade lane is only about 17% of India's export overall. And already there are many important categories for which those rules do not apply. It boils it down to about a 60 to 70% impact on that. Correct. So if you put 60 to 70% impact on 17%, you land up with somewhere around 10% impact, right? तो मान लो 10% का हमारा कहीं ना कहीं पे एक impact आएगा, export की बात करें. But on the other hand, you look at the parallel deals that India is making. For example, the India-UK FTA deal that has happened. And if anyone wants to know that how successful it can be, जब आज से 4-5 साल पहले जब इंडिया यूएई का डील हुआ था, जब इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया के ट्रेड पैक्ट्स हुए थे, तब इंडिया के साथ इन कंट्रीज का जो ट्रेड था, एंड टुडे व्हाट इट इज एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ. एंड आई नो यूके इज अ फार बिगर ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर, far closely connected, and the deal that India has got is superb. So, and we know the India-EU deal is just on the cards. It's going to come at any point, within the next couple of months. So, and last but not the least, even India and China, जिनके बीच में थोड़ा सा, ठंडक पड़ गई थी relationship में over the last 4-5 years post-COVID.
Correct.
A warming up is naturally being seen.
Yeah.
And it is not unnatural that these two partners are going to ultimately find a way. Will they fully start trading the way they used to? Time will tell. So I think when one, as our chairman always used to say, and I'm a great believer on that, whenever you hear the sound of a door closing, don't hear the sound of a door closing. Hear the sound of many more doors opening. So
एक दरवाजा बंद होता है, बहुत सारे नए दरवाजे खुलते हैं.
Absolutely. So I think Indians के लिए बहुत सारी opportunities आने वाली है. Whether it is cross-border, whether it is domestic consumption and domestic production, it is going to be an integrated solution. I think what all logisticians and trade bodies should prepare for is how can we be more efficient.
In fact, this is compelling us that will show the agility of Indian leadership, political leadership, and of course the business leadership. And same comes to the logistics as well. The new global supply chain routes are opening. Multiple new countries, opportunities are going to open. It is going to be a matter of, few months or not more than 1 year.
I think it's
multiple opportunities can come out.
Absolutely. I think give it 2 or 3 quarters at most.
Yeah.
It's going to settle. And as I said, there's an old saying, never say never. Yeah. It's not that today if tariff is announced, tomorrow it cannot be changed. At the end of the day, I'm sure the government is putting all the effort that they can, and even trade bodies are going to do their part. But the message for us is get stronger, get more collaborative, internally strengthen yourself, prepare yourself. And I think Indians have shown post-COVID that how resilient we are and what we are capable of. We love a good challenge. This is a great challenge.
It is also going to give the opportunities for the government to push through certain, tough reforms.
Absolutely.
Which maybe, kept them hold back.
Absolutely.
Those in tough time, it can be rolled out very well.
Absolutely. I see very positive changes in ahead. Nothing really big to be worried about. Be gung-ho, be positive, and keep doing what we've been doing for a long time.
Absolutely. Great. So recently DTDC has completed 35 years, journey of 35 years, and many transformation I have personally gone through.
Yeah.
My 19 years of journey has been in DTDC, so my love and affection is always there. So I have seen particular transformation. And how do you see the journey of transformation? DTDC is always on a ride, right, one after another. So how do you see your personal journey all the way starting from IIM and choosing be a driving the family business and taking this legacy ahead?
Sure. So Amit, first of all, thank you so much for wishing us, and more importantly, congratulations to leaders like you who have contributed so much. Because आज हम जो भी हैं वो इसलिए है क्योंकि आपके जैसे fantastic लोग थे, है और रहेंगे हमारे साथ, जिनके साथ काम करके हम यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं. Before I delve into how my journey brought me here and what the journey forward looks like, मैं तो एक ही चीज़ कहता हूँ सबको, I like to be called a 41-year-old CEO of a 35-year young company and not the other way around. Because many times people hear about 35 years and they think second generation, you're a legacy organization. And, they sometimes think legacy is a bad word. I say legacy is a fantastic word because legacy gives you so much of pride. Legacy gives you such fantastic history. So much learning.
Influences.
Absolutely.
To make decisions.
And tells you that कोई भी challenge आया, हमने तो इससे भी बड़ी challenges handle करी हुई है. Which sometimes I think newcomers today or new startups sometimes get worried when the first, dark clouds show in front. But at the same time, हमारा जज्बा, हमारी spirit आज भी वही है that give us a problem, give us a challenge. जैसे बच्चे inquisitively कोई भी चीज़ नई चीज़ आती है तो उसके साथ खेलते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं, ट्राई करते हैं. चलने की कोशिश में बच्चे पहले गिरते हैं, लेकिन गिरते ही सीखते हैं और तभी खड़े होकर जब वो उतरते हैं मैदान में फिर दौड़ने भी लग जाते हैं और एक दिन जीत के ही आते हैं. So I think that spirit is very true for me. And if I reflect back on those days when I did my engineering, I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore, I got a chance to work for some very successful global organizations like Lehman Brothers or Accenture. I think all along the way for me silently, there were 2 things that were constantly there. A, कि अपने आप को expose करो नई चीज़ों के साथ, दुनिया को देखो, दुनिया को समझो, क्योंकि एक बाहर की दुनिया कैसे डेवलप हो रही है वो जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है, नई तौर तरीकों को सीखना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि जो दुनिया आने वाली थी उस ज़माने की भी तो हमको उसकी सेंस बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी था. But at the same time, बचपन से इस business को देखते हुए, and the way chairman has built it in such a personal and such a handcrafted way, and yet with such modern sentiments, such modern approaches, it was always attractive. Not because it's some sort of conglomerate that you will take over and get to own or something, but more like what a beautiful playground to play in. कितना कुछ है करने के लिए, कितना कुछ है सीखने के लिए, कितना कुछ है ट्राई करने के लिए. एंड इस जैसी इंडस्ट्री में और हमारी जैसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो इतनी वाइब्रेंट है, सो फॉर मी इवन दैट अर्ली स्टेज व्हेन आई मेड दैट चॉइस टू लीव द सो कॉल्ड corporate life of being an employee somewhere and chose to be part of a team to support the organization, I think the spirit was DTDC had fantastic problem statements to solve. And in these last 15 years or 16 and a half years, there hasn't been a moment where I've had to feel like, यार अब तो सब कुछ ही हो गया, करने को क्या ही रह गया है. Every day we are learning, every day we are pushing our boundaries. We remain very, very paranoid. Paranoid मतलब हमको हमेशा ही डर रहता है कि हम जितना भी कर रहे हैं ना वो काफी
कम है,
कमी है, से ज्यादा ही करना है. और हमारे लोग भी हमको मोटिवेट करते हैं कि सर थोड़ा और चाहिए, थोड़ा और चाहिए. And that spirit is so viral, so addictive.
That's become the culture of the organization.
Exactly. And therefore today, as we are finishing 35 years, Vision 2030 has been launched. We have a whole new set of programs and projects. Our latest launch, जो हमने अभी किया है, DTDC Raftar, with the tagline we call it Rapid Bhi, Smart Bhi. What is DTDC Raftar? It's all about rapid commerce, where now DTDC has prepared itself completely for a 2 to 6 hour deliveries that we're offering to our customers in B2C, B2B as well, which I think is going to transform the way in which commerce is being done in this nation. And the way supply chain problems are going to be solved are going to be totally different because of it. And this is just one. There will be so much more that we're going to do.
So the latest is a Raftar.
Yeah.
So the multiple transformation journey all the way starting from the franchising network, Angadia kind of a style, 96, or even 90s, 91, then getting into the logistics, and then getting into the supply chain as well, and then the technology adaptation remain the parallel, and multiple things keep happening. The latest transformation you have started for the rapid commerce, which is basically the rapid commerce people know mostly from the 10 minutes delivery perspective as of now, as a layman, as a consumer. But the rapid commerce, I believe, a little different. Not exactly the 10 minutes delivery, which is something in between, basically the time sensitivity or the user requirement.
Sure.
Both the things are being coupled together. So how are you going to support this, D2C branded brands, or what is exactly your plan? Are you going to set up the dark store?
Sure.
Or are you going to set up the 3PL, shared warehouses for those people?
Yep.
The D2C branded brands?
Perfect. It's a great question, Amit. And before I explain to you, the good part is whatever work we are doing in this rapid commerce space. In fact, even discovering and defining this rapid commerce space is nearly 8 to 9 months worth of research and deep study that we conducted. We recently launched a white paper.
I have gone through completely the white paper.
Yeah, in collaboration with Boston Consulting Group, we've done it, and we worked together. Because we asked ourselves a question. Over the last 2 years, we know the biggest phenomenon in Indian supply chain industry and retail industry was the emergence of quick commerce. Delivering in minutes instead of delivering in days or weeks or whatever the case might be. And while it's a very powerful story, it's grown like crazy, it's still growing like crazy, and it'll still continue to see a lot of explosive growth. But we asked ourselves a simple question. That first of all, is it for everybody? And second, at what price? Yes, we understood very clearly that the new age Indian consumer wants things faster. आज के जो Gen Z, Gen Alpha के बच्चे हैं, जो हमारे घर के लोग हैं, इनको चीज़ें आज चाहिए, अभी चाहिए, इसी मोमेंट में चाहिए. एंड जो चीज़ों के लिए वो वेट नहीं कर सकते, वो वेट नहीं कर सकते. ये क्लैरिटी आई है. And I don't
this shopping experience, they want to have it, quickly.
Exactly. हमारे पुराने ज़माने में कहा जाता था कि don't spend now, save for later. In this generation is saying spend now, think later. Because, ज़िंदगी मिलेगी ना दोबारा kind of, thought that.
Because basic safety issues has been taken care of.
Exactly.
In our generation or before that, the safety issues was not.
Exactly. किसी को डर नहीं है कि हमको
कल रोटी का क्या होगा, वो
problem नहीं है. Disposable income is high. Parents are now done well for themselves.
Correct.
So it's true that is what is driving speed, and I don't think people will want to move away from speed. So yes, एक तरफ ये क्विक कॉमर्स का इमर्जेंस था, बहुत क्लियरली आ गया था. फिर हमने ये भी स्टडी किया कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू द ट्रेडिशनल कॉमर्स, द 2 to 3 day, 3 to 4 day delivery.
Typical
e-commerce जो हो रहा था. And what we saw there is that while cost there might be quite optimized, but the fact that products take so long and people are fickle-minded now in terms of their choice. By the time one product is coming, they're already testing out the product on 3 other websites, right? And जब वो होता है, then they see, अरे यार इससे पहले तो इससे मिल जाएगा. Why? उसको ऑर्डर को RTO कर देते हैं, कैंसिल कर देंगे, इसको बाय कर लेंगे. So we clearly are seeing that commerce is becoming what now people might say is becoming slow commerce. Right? So one side you have quick commerce, one side you have slow commerce. And very interestingly how our chairman puts it, like in sandwich theory, आप ऊपर का ब्रेड और नीचे का ब्रेड ही होता है, लेकिन अंदर में जो सैंडविच के बीच में होता है, उसी में सारा न्यूट्रिशन, उसी में सारा मजा है. तो अगर आप इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट को भी देखो, Q से आता है क्विक कॉमर्स, S से बनता है स्लो कॉमर्स, और Q और S के बीच में आता है R अल्फाबेट, और R से आता है रैपिड कॉमर्स, which is that in between space where brands, D2C companies can now choose that, see, some products they might keep with quick commerce because it is instant gratification. But the products which are more stable, that are going to have repeat buying, in whom the margin is not so high and they don't want to part away with their hard-earned profits, they need a solution where within half a day, within the same day, within 2 to 4 hours, 3 hours, the delivery can be completed. And how DTDC is solving for it is, we are playing on both sides of the change. One, we are offering them a completely integrated network of dream stores. DTDC में हम इनको dark stores नहीं कहते. Dark store एक बड़ा American word था, लेकिन आप dark store सोचोगे ना तो आपको लगेगा कि वहाँ पे कुछ गलत काम हो रहा है, कुछ back end काम हो रहा है. But I call it dream stores क्योंकि वहाँ हम अपने कंज्यूमर्स के सपनों के साथ डील कर रहे हैं, उनको जो अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स चाहिए, ब्रांड्स के सपनों के साथ हम डील कर रहे हैं, और अल्टीमेटली हम कितने लोगों के लिए नौकरियां बना रहे हैं, तो उनके सपने भी वहाँ पे उज्जवल होने वाले हैं. तो ऐसे हमने उनको ड्रीम स्टोर्स का नाम दिया है. सो वी आर क्रिएटिंग integrated dream stores that are blended with our large supply chain of 600 facilities of our own, 16,500 facilities of our partners. So brands will be able to keep the inventory in these dream stores as they need it. And with these dream stores, through batch deliveries, by very interesting, technology-driven supply chain processes that we are creating, we'll be able to give them the 2-hour, 4-hour deliveries that they need at a relatively smaller premium compared to how much they need to part as far as quick commerce is concerned. So it's almost like the size that fits you, you choose that, how deep you want to go, how much you want to cover, at the rate at which you want to go, without any initial capex costs and other things that they need to burn otherwise, right? तो ये बहुत ही D2C centric है, जहाँ ब्रांड ओनर अपनी एक्सपीरियंस को कंट्रोल करेगा, लेकिन अपने पॉकेट के ऊपर ध्यान रखते हुए भी, क्योंकि हम एनेबलर है, हम कंपेटिटर नहीं है हमारे ब्रांड से. That's the philosophy behind of that.
So down the line, 6 months or 1 year, how do we look at how many dream store we are planning, or how many dream stores we are leveraging from our existing network?
Correct. So we are already at 6 cities now with about 25 stores that are active. They're already serving our pilot set of customers.
25 cities are already operating.
6 cities, 25 stores. We are already active.
6 cities, 25
stores हमने already किया है. They're active pilots, actual volumes and all being handled. हमने अभी already by August we've closed more than 15,000 orders of deliveries in rapid commerce with some fantastic SLAs that are going on. Our orders per day are increasing. But over the next 2 quarters, we expect that we'll be at least moving to another 25 cities. And interestingly, rapid commerce, Raftar will not only touch the metros, it is going to go to tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. And we expect to settle somewhere in the range of 100 to 125 dream stores, in which not only they will be blended with our existing facilities, we'll be creating brand new facilities. We'll have what is called shadow dream stores, एक बड़े dream store को touch करने वाला, augment करने वाला एक और additional dream store जो accessibility और speed को control करेगा. लेकिन सबसे exciting चीज़ है, क्योंकि पहला भी आपने एक सवाल पूछा था, ये सब हम करने वाले हैं, but once again involving our channel partners and franchises 100% in this model. Great. Which means it's not that our partners are going to be alienated, they're going to be very much part of it.
In fact, my next question was about to this, how the opportunities are getting created for our channel partners, 16,500 channel partners. Currently, if I see the quick commerce has already reached in the country close to 40 plus cities.
Yes.
And successfully they are doing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the Blinkit or maybe Swiggy Instamart or maybe the Flipkart Minutes.
Yeah.
So they're successfully doing. Initially, couple of years before, we were all skeptical about it. Will that 10 minutes needed? Will that work only for grocery? Will it go beyond grocery? So probably the beyond grocery or maybe the food, we are looking at the Raftar and the Rapid. So how do you, these opportunities are getting created for a new age channel partners of DTDC or existing channel partners of DTDC?
See, Amit, for us, DTDC हमारे DNA में है. हम partnership के बिना कुछ सोचते ही नहीं है. And it's not just because we are used to it or it's our comfort zone, because we believe Indian entrepreneurs, when they become your partners, they can create magic. उनका खुद का हंगर, उनकी खुद की ड्राइव इतनी स्ट्रांग होती है, वो जो सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढ के निकाल सकते हैं, जो ऑन ग्राउंड चैलेंजेस और प्रॉब्लम्स को वो सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, इज अमेजिंग. And a problem or an opportunity like rapid commerce needs very creative thinking. Of course, the technological and systems background and all the base layer, of course, is created by DTDC. But on ground, as we plan to scale up at such a rapid pace and open up so many dream stores, we know that the pace of growth is so large that if company were to hire tens of and hundreds of managers to go and implement it, it would take us far longer than a couple of quarters to reach that target. But with such a strong base of existing partners and new partners, from the day one when we were in the pilot stage, our question was very simple. Find a way that partners can be integrated in this model. And we see two ways in which partners can join hands with us. Number one is, first of all, the fulfillment piece of it.
Correct.
We have
Dream
made,
store.
Yeah, exactly. We have made the dream stores into a very modular unit. Depending on the demand from our consumers, we have a very well laid out plan ki geographically where do we want to open our dream stores. We openly exchange and share that data with our existing partners and also use our marketing mechanisms to advertise to interested parties who want to come together. And they place bids and they submit to us the RFQ for how they would like to contribute to that. The model is very simple. What you need to invest, what's the minimum setup requirement, what's the gestation and ROI period is also made very, very clear. And let me tell you that a dream store, even at today's orders that we are getting, would take not more than 6 to 9 months to break even for our partners.
6 to 9 months break even?
Break even.
Any partner can,
absolutely
start achieving the ROI after that.
Absolutely. And in a 3-year period, we are talking about anything in the range of 25 to 30% ROI that they can make out of it, while still maintaining our costs, which is good for the D2C brands. The model is that they bring in the capital, they bring in the resources, we give them the entire setup process which they need to follow, including, and in fact, companies not only supporting them in terms of the process and systems and technology, even on the most differentiating capital expenditure, it's actually the company that's going to provide it. So that they don't even need to run helter-skelter.
Which are those capital expenditures?
See, the core technology, the racking systems, the integrated processes that are built in, the WMS system, for example.
Okay.
All of that is so fundamentally built in that we're going to provide it to them so that they don't need to lose any money. And effectively, their cost of creation becomes low.
So they need to provide the real estate?
They provide real estate. They bring in the resources. They follow the SOPs and processes, and they help keep us updated about the local organization, because there's a lot of creativity that needs to be applied. You need to have knowledge of the area. Every area is not the same. Each area has its own challenges. For example, one city of India is nothing like the another city of India. वहाँ के जो rules, regulations जो होते हैं, वो data, on ground data को हमारे तक पहुँचाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Which being practitioners over there, they can bring it to us in a very proper way. Our job is to give them the access to knowledge, give them all the technology, give them all the research and data which they need to be successfully running their enterprise for us. So one is this fulfillment piece, but ultimately the other piece also is to join hands with us to do the last mile and the first
this
mile.
Is my yes.
Right?
So the modularly, we have talked about the dream store, right? So the capex and the warehouse and the WMS are provided by the company, and then the ownership and the entrepreneur is taking care of the local things. How are we talking about the last mile deliveries?
See, in last mile, there are two things that we are doing. Number one, as you know, already DTDC's channel partners take care of more than 83% of all our deliveries. So they already have the basic infrastructure that is needed. Now we are providing them the additional technology specifications using our apps and other things, using which they can now start blending rapid commerce deliveries along with the traditional deliveries that they do. But not only that, we're going one step further. We are giving them the ability to source gig riders and gig workers as well, using the technology. If somebody, a school, college student or someone or rider who's working for another entity wants to work for 1 hour or 2 hours with a partner and provide him extra support during peak hours, he can do that. The partner can easily organize it. even the rider is going to get some income, the partner is also going to get his part of the income. And not just that, we are now opening up that even the riders we are creating, if there are opportunities in the market for even other brands which might need the services, using our application, they can even do that. Because we are creating a very, what I call as an open source kind of architecture. Because the more you open it up, the more people can freely interact and participate, the faster the turnaround, the more agile, lower cost. Because at the end of the day, you need to do speed, but at a cost which is very reasonable. So that's how we are augmenting and supporting.
DTDC franchisee or maybe the forthcoming franchisees or channel partners, we are empowering with this Dream Store.
Yeah.
We are empowering them for a last mile delivery.
Absolutely.
They can leverage the existing network or
Correct.
existing fleet.
Correct.
And add on the Raftar into
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Or they can also create a parallel fleet.
Right.
So they have been empowered with technology of sourcing the gig riders.
Absolutely.
And then they can do the multiple deliveries in their city on this,
Correct.
this particular
Correct.
area.
Correct. That's what the
So
future
that's a
would
third
look like.
aspect for those
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely.
Sourcing the riders and
Correct.
then doing the last mile
Correct.
deliveries.
And last but not the least, before I forget, given that DTDC has built its entire existing e-commerce business, largely more than 60% of all our e-commerce business is sourced by our channel partners, and 100% of our e-commerce business is coming from D2C and social commerce, which means if they are sitting today with a D2C customer, they're also introducing this service and attracting them that, sir, if today you were only doing traditional e-commerce, why don't you try out DTDC's Raftar and Rapid Commerce service and start offering 2-hour delivery, 4-hour delivery?
Correct. That's
Which
a
means whichever way you look at it.
Fourth aspect for those
Exactly. Whether you're a service provider or a sales generator, once again, Raftar has got all opportunities open for the entrepreneurial people of India.
Yeah. I just foresee one challenge being, the DTDCians in past. So DTDC franchisees have a, habit or maybe the culture or the model is so, lucrative. Their margins are quite good. They largely do the retail, and they get good margins. Whereas e-commerce, it's a volume game. And because, it is evolving and the competitive, so the margins are thin, right? How are we going to shift their mindset that, it is more of a volume creation and low margin, high volume business?
Sure. So, Amit, that's a fantastic question because, that's where the good old concepts that we used to have are being rethought, right? Earlier, we would tell a partner that, this is my price and you've got to find your own way to survive. What we realize is we are building the future as we speak. This has never been done before. We are the first company in India doing rapid commerce. Even defining the space has been DTDC's responsibility. So we've taken a very bold and forward step. To all our partners, whether they are going to be in the last mile part of it or whether they're going to manage the dream stores for us, what we've committed to them is that, or even from day one, a certain minimum percentage of volume and therefore the payout connected to the volume is guaranteed to them. Which means from day one, there is income guaranteed. We take the pressure, we take the responsibility, then how we're going to attract the customers, create the sales pipeline, feed in the orders into their dream stores. They don't need to worry that on the first day, if there are only 5 orders, whereas the minimum break-even happens at, let's say, 70 orders per day, they don't need to worry. A minimum guarantee is being assured to them from day one so that the fear factor can be removed. They can come openly. And we are choosing and working very carefully with a selected group of people. Of course, this is not everybody's cup of tea. I don't think we will need as many dream stores as we need the basic franchisee outlets. So in some ways, we are working a combination of channel partners with a new mindset, channel partners who've achieved some success, which means they're not afraid of taking a little bit of risk. But at the same time, the backing of the company is being provided to them. That on day one, we're not going to leave you high and dry. Because your dream store is actually our dream store. If you fail, if your dream gets shattered, then our dreams are going to get shattered. So don't worry. We will never allow your dream to become a nightmare. That's our assurances.
Beautiful. So wish you all great luck for all DTDCians, for Raftar.
Thank you.
Let's move to the next level of, some personal questions. The culture of DTDC created by, our chairman is highly connected. Even he pick up the phone of a last mile delivery guy and everybody is having his phone. 16,000 franchisees and there, another 5-7 delivery boys. And he gives time for everyone. So being a, successful father, son, and that too, larger than the life celebrity of the industry, that pressure of performance, right? And the pressure of meeting those expectations of those people, that too pressure. How are you, coping up with this?
Sure. अमित, आपने बहुत ही पर्सनल और बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल पूछा है. And the reason I say this is because this question is very dear to my heart. And the answer, इसका जवाब भी मेरे लिए बहुत मायने रखता है, you know. कोई भी second generation जब आती है, first generation जिन्होंने खड़ा किया है, आप उसको pressure बोलिए, comparison बोलिए, trying to match up to the same expectation, ये रहता ही है और रहना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि होना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि नहीं होगा तो कहीं ना कहीं आप भी casual हो जाओगे, you know. And somebody sets a high bar for you, you try to get better than that. And if you see, whether or not it is family generations, but in various arenas, so for example sports and everywhere, one generation of athletes do something, the next generation of athletes try to, you know, do better than that, right? But for me, very early on, Amit, one thing became very clear. Chairman is phenomenal. He's a once in a lifetime kind of leader. You know, he was like born to do this, blessed person. And it's like भगवान ने कुछ लोगों को बना के भेजा है कुछ करने के लिए. You know, like, I mean, I don't want to draw comparisons and I don't want any wrong meaning to be taken. But जैसे स्वामी विवेकानंद आए थे, बहुत ही कम साल के लिए वो रहे, लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी छवि छोड़ के गए, अपनी छाप छोड़ के गए धरती पे. So I think chairman is that kind of a once in a generation, once in a lifetime kind of person, you know. And you have that in various industries, such people. So very early on, मैंने एक ही चीज समझा. There is no point trying to be the second Subhashis Chakraborty.
That itself is too big.
It's too big. Can I be the first Abhishek Chakraborty? And what does it mean to be the first Abhishek Chakraborty? How can I take the legacy? How can I take the learning, the values, the culture, the ethos, but give it my own interpretation? Beautiful. Give it a different touch without making the people feel that they are getting disconnected from what the company's ethos is. Our values have always remained the same: excellence, leadership, openness, being responsive, and humility. And if you think about it, Amit, you know him very well. This is exactly his DNA.
Absolutely.
And we are very clear, the DNA of the organization should not change. But with time, with generation, with the needs of the market, needs of the consumers, how can we adapt that DNA to the new values systems that are there, and then be still creating that new appeal, creating the new touch. So for me, I am never ever telling myself that, you know, you have to try to do it this way. It's a futile exercise. And you know, आपको inspiration लेनी होती है सबसे. I think even I am sure the way my personality has developed, maybe 70%, 80% of subconsciously is heavily influenced by the way the first generation has done it. But that extra 20% is my touch, my learning, and my way to interpret it and try to stay relevant and try to give it on. But at the end of the day, it's never about replacing him. It's about seeing हमको जो मिला उसको हम किस level पे लेके जा सकते हैं.
Like in the book Built to Last, our chairman used to talk about, and the book is saying yin and yang story. Preserve what you have and create new.
Absolutely. Because, you know, the challenges he faced cannot be replicated, cannot be recreated. But we have a new set of opportunities, a new set of challenges, and let's embrace it. तो उनकी वो spirit को maintain करना है, लेकिन उसको अपना एक touch देके उसको आगे लेके जाना है. And that's why that helps me not only manage the pressure, but also help me, you know, stay connected with him. And that our conversations are also like that. कि सर आप अपने स्टाइल में खेल रहे हो, मैं भी अपने स्टाइल में खेल रहा हूँ, लेकिन हमारी जुगलबंदी कैसी होगी? That complementarity is the fun. And that's how we continue to be not only chairman and CEO, but ultimately a father and son who can maintain that relationship.
Great. So, I mean, and very beautifully you answered this. I mean, many people will get the inspiration out of it. How second generation can take it forward without, you know, conflicting any apple cart. That's what delivered by the DTDC as such. Now coming back to the same question in a different format. The channel partners of DTDC and their transformation and adaptation of a technology. Right. DTDC all the way in year 96, 97 adopted the, you know, first Pentasoft order has been given to a software. So I believe the many organizations of those time could not sustain themselves and, you know, could not survive. Their names are in the history only. But DTDC continued that legacy, and today one of the India's leading logistics network. So the technology adaptation for those channel partners, and today's technology has become further faster. Right? Every day it is changing, every day new things are coming, and AI has come. Right? How are you, you know, inculcating those changes to the channel partners?
You know, it's a great question, Amit. Your question reminding me to my early days when I first started taking on the responsibilities, and naturally when I was not in this kind of position but a much younger team member, understanding technology and starting the the building blocks of digital in DTDC were clearly one of my first responsibilities. And here is where two things helped me a lot. One, when I spent my time with chairman in my early days learning how the business is done, I was convinced about one fact, that his way of thinking was ahead of the technology that existed.
Yeah.
It is just that somebody needed to interpret it and connect it to the technology. Otherwise, his thinking was always futuristic. He was never a person who was, trying to be manual.
Yes.
Very process-driven, very systematic. That was the first advantage that I could see was there for us. Second, I could see that because the channel community had built themselves around the way chairman had built this organization and the ethos and the value systems, one thing became clear to me, technology को करना है, लेकिन technology को inorganically हम अगर करेंगे, लोगों के ऊपर थोपेंगे, force करेंगे, तो वो उसको reject करेंगे. लेकिन उसको अगर blend करेंगे, उसके लिए ground तैयार करेंगे, उसको natural बनाएंगे जिस तरह उन्होंने बाकी चीज़ों को इतने सालों तक adopt किया था, the success and key would lie in that. And that clue helped me. So whether it was, talking about any new software implementation or making any changes that we would make in our whole infrastructure, I always said, let's go and talk to our partners, grassroots level people. Many companies make the mistake, they buy a piece of technology and then tell their people, now you need to implement. I went and did the other way around. I went and spoke to our people and said, guys, हमको एक प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना है और ये प्रॉब्लम आपके हाथों से ही सॉल्व होने वाला है क्योंकि आप ही इसको फील्ड में लेके जाओगे. What do you think about it? क्या फीचर होगी तो आपको समझने में आसानी होगी. आपको टेक्नोलॉजी से थोड़ा डर लगता है, आपके डर को कम करने के लिए हम टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर ही कैसी चीजें कर सकते हैं. And literally building. So I can give you two solid examples. In 2016-17, we first time started doing delivery using apps.
Yeah.
उससे पहले सब पेपर पर्ची पे होता था. That was a huge fear, huge challenge. People were afraid. हमने अपना पहला लॉन्च किया भी था, but थोड़ा डर था and it was not doing so well. Then I spoke to a partner of mine. He told, sir, हमारे ही शहर में we have some channel partners who are passionate. But sir, can you listen to them and adapt your system technology to them? So I called for a workshop. I called the engineers, channel partners and my management team together in a workshop. I don't think ever in the industry anyone had tried it before that. Open-ended dialogue. वो अपनी भाषा में बोल रहे हैं, हमारे इंजीनियर्स वहीं पे बैठ के उसके पिक्चर बना रहे हैं, उसका थॉट्स क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, प्रोसेस बना रहे हैं. उसको लिया हमने. We got it built into our application. We relaunched the application with all those features built in and it became a hit. Because they said, sir, because they said, at the end of the day, आप ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाओ जो एक लड़का जिसने इतना पढ़ाई लिखाई नहीं किया होगा, he also should be in a position to use it. Intuitive. More pictures than words, for example. Lesser number of unnecessary steps, right? That was a great thing and created a huge revolution. Similarly, when we moved to Google Workspace for our entire, collaboration piece, email, and all the other backend systems that keep it running. Many people told, sir, Google is very costly. Take it only for your staff. I put my foot down and I told to Google and everybody else, if I'm taking it, I want my employees and my partners to be on one platform.
Absolutely.
You find a way. I have this many thousand users. You want to talk to your India leadership, you want to go talk to California, do what you need to do. We became the first large-scale implementation of Google Workspace in India. Until date, it is one of the case studies which Google talks about it in their management and teaches their sales guys to talk about all over the world. And the beauty of that is today when we do collaboration, me, my manager, my employees, my partners can be in one single platform and start collaborating and creating things. So these are the simple things. See, all partners or any entrepreneur wants is, include me in your plans. Don't treat me like a agent. Yeah. Treat me like a true partner. Let's co-create. Let's make it. And today's technology is perfect for co-creation. So that one common thread, which anyway I learned from chairman because he has always co-created. All the products he created even 90s, 2000.
Democratic way of making decisions.
Democratic, exactly. That democracy built into technology has made even technology now very adopted, and today channel partners give us ideas.
No, so many such example of democracy kind of operations or leadership of DTDC, like franchisee advisory board.
Exactly.
When we the chairman has created the franchisee advisory board, people got confused. Board में आप franchisee को बिठाओगे तो सारा secret पता चल जाएगा.
No, it's been a revelation for us, and I'm so proud that when I joined the companies when the franchisee advisory board was first created in 2009. And last year, this year, we launched another new thing called the Digital Entrepreneurs Forum. So there are about 150 highly tech-savvy channel partners of DTDC who are all connected in one platform. So today, all beta testing of all our technology is done by them first. They get the first version of every technology, they practically use it, give us all the feedback. Our tech teams, our innovation center here in Gurgaon and Bangalore interact with them. They co-create it. And only when the digital entrepreneurs give a thumbs up is when that whole product gets rolled out. So by the time the masses see anything, the people who matter, who know, not only they know, they have already endorsed it, but they become the trainers who then go on the ground. क्योंकि एक पार्टनर जो एक दूसरे पार्टनर से समझता है अपनी भाषा में, अपने स्टाइल में, वो मेरा कोई ट्रेनर नहीं सिखा सकता. They're connected. So this kind of concepts also will.
The flow of information goes very fast. Yeah. Since we are on a technology side, so let's move a little bit, on how the latest technology of the world, which may be the smart warehousing, robotic warehousing, or maybe the autonomous vehicles, driverless vehicles, or maybe the drone delivery. As a logistics leader, or maybe the driving leader of DTDC, how do you see the India shaping up, or we are going to be, these changes going to be a mainstream?
Yeah. I think the time is right now, given the way India is progressing. Most of these things which we were calling as developed technologies are very much out there, and now many companies have started incorporating them, as much as DTDC is very much doing our pilots and experiments. Whether it's drone delivery, we went live with it last year. In fact, I always say that maybe more work is now required on the regulatory side, with the governments to kind of work out various regulations that need to be perfected. But otherwise, the ability to do drone deliveries and service our customers with that is very much available. And I see that tier 2, tier 4 applications of it will come first. Metropolitan, we still have a lot of other ways to do it at a cheaper cost. But in tier 2, tier 4, inaccessible parts of the country, such technologies work very well. Warehouse automation is very much a big part of what we do. The way we are using robotics and automation in moving our parcels and packages, increasing efficiency, reducing over-dependence on manpower, and actually making the life of manpower also much more easier is a very, very big focus for us. But especially now that we're moving into Raftar and rapid commerce, even the way the inventory management is going to happen, the way computer vision or artificial intelligence is being used today in order to sort packages, in order to even store packages, which orders need to flow where. The entire rapid commerce stack of ours requires probably even more need for optimization and other AI technologies than even classical quick commerce or normal delivery, simply because you've got to do it in a way that the cost can always be maintained at the lowest point. So this is now not problems that are easily solved only humanly. I think artificial intelligence, machine learning are going to play a big role. And to give you one of the big examples, we've developed a technology called GeoZone. We have created our own geolocating system which can break down any pin code or area into small hexagrids of our own, which we can define ourselves. This allows us to break down entire pin codes on areas into units that we can define, we can map, and it can be broken down at the level of not only a channel partner, it can be broken down at the level of a rider. And a classic example, a city like Gurgaon, which has only one big pin code, is now broken down into 100 such units, which can easily be mapped. And in less than 6 months' time, we are ready where if you today book a package from Bombay or from Bangalore, which is by road is going to come in 2 days' time in Gurgaon, my channel partner as rider is going to get an alert of what kind of volumes and what kind of delivery pattern he can expect 2 days from now. Okay. Which means whether it's Diwali,
so we talk about a predictive
and he can analyze and he can be prepared. He has a whole landing, we call it the landing profile. Which used to be a huge problem because people never used to expect कि दिवाली के दिन पे कितना आएगा,
अचानक लोड आ गया,
राखी में कितना आएगा. So this big problem.
Capacity building planning can be
artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer vision, a lot of this is playing a huge role, and I think India is ready for it. DTDC is massively experimenting on it. We're working with startups. Our own innovation centers has got a lot of people coming from such backgrounds, and I think this disruptive technology is only going to make us better and stronger, and deliver bigger efficiency, bigger quality to our customers.
Sure. Let's come to the, how are we, placed or planning on the carbon neutral, operations, which is maybe the EV vehicles. And beyond that, how do you see, because logistics always remain a, low margin game, right? Efficiency and the profit, both are become a very, very challenging side. So how do we see this, carbon neutral operations and managing this efficiency and this profitability together?
Yeah, so anything to do with green logistics has to be a very, very important priority now for businesses. And I think the lead has to be taken by the large national and global players like us. One, because our exposure to the global market and with our partners, we've learned quite well that the long-term benefits of building a carbon neutral network is massive. It's not only just contributing to betterment of how the environment is going to get the benefits for it, but even for businesses, there are actually long-term advantages. Yes, there is a lot more investment that is required in this space. There's a lot more research that needs to be done. And I believe very strong public-private partnership in this space as well, because you need to create the environment and ecosystem for it. However, first of all, in terms of what DTDC is already doing, the way in which, whether it's our traditional deliveries or our EV deliveries are taking place, rather the rapid commerce deliveries are taking place, increasingly we are going for EVs, whether at the bike level or whether at the four-wheeler level. We are in fact in some advanced stages of discussion with certain actual EV makers here in India, with whom we are crafting and creating the bodies and the setups itself in such a way that they're more customized and tailor-made for our logistics and supply chain kind of requirement. We are also trying to work out trade financing that can be created in such a way, because EVs initially have a higher upfront cost, although the running cost is much better. So we are thinking about creating trade financing so that our partners are incentivized to go for more of EV vehicles rather than going for traditional vehicles when they procure. Because we are still a asset-light company and we need them to procure it for us, but we're trying to help them in that front as well. In terms of our large hubs, we've got already a couple of hubs that are fully electrified from solar panels that have been put in. In fact, we are contributing back to the grid. And now all new greenfield hubs that we are setting up are all being planned with solar electrification as a part of it. In some hubs, we've also tested whether how renewable water systems can also be created so that water catchment can be made, and even that can be used to reduce our water dependence that we have. Last but not the least, we're also concentrating a lot on packaging. The quality of packaging that we use, the sustainable packaging that we're creating. We're even working with some brands to make reusable packaging. That means when we deliver, we don't just want to deliver and drop the package at the consumer. We want to bring back the packaging in the network, because if that packaging can be reused, it saves us tons of waste that is otherwise getting created. And
particularly in rapid commerce, this can be quite useful. Because it is the moment is in a last mile.
Absolutely.
Dream store to a last mile.
Absolutely.
It can come back.
Absolutely. We are seeing that as a big positive. Our D2C brands are very aware about it, and they want that. They want to see that how sustainable the supply chain can be made. I think also, as I told you, the optimization technology that we're doing on solving for the delivery routes, we want to reduce the sheer number of kilometers as well that we've got to ride. Because if nothing else, even if the entire fleet cannot become EV in an instant, but whatever fleet is still using petrol or diesel based engines, if the actual driving time and distance and wastage can be reduced over there, then also we're going to make a huge
that way
impact.
If you see 20% deliveries of DTDC always happen by feet on, because of sheer density of the channel partners.
Exactly.
They're doing cycle and they're doing by feet as well.
Exactly. But it's the future and we all have got to think about it. I think India has to start thinking of becoming a world leader even in this space. And at least I feel in the urban centers, there should be a huge priority, for giving focus on this.
Great. So, logistics is basically third largest, employment provider.
Right.
And the skill set of the people and a large number of people are getting, employed in the logistics industry as such. And courier is again also, because of a last mile requirement and the number of packages are smaller. So the human workforce requirements always remain very high.
Yeah.
So how do you see the future of, skill set requirement for the logistics workforce?
I think you've hit a very, very important question, because at the end of the day, our businesses are always going to be people-centric.
People-dependent.
We will invest massively on technology. Technology is going to augment people. It is not going to replace people. It's going to facilitate. But that means that the new workforce that we have to hire and we are hiring also needs to come with different skills, different mindsets, more flexible, more fungible workforce, and also a workforce on which we have to deeply invest. Because the historical attrition levels of our industry, if that continues, then that will be one of the reasons why India will not achieve all its supply chain goals. So we are very sensitive to that, and I think we are now partnering very strongly, not only with the providers of talent at different levels, at the blue collar level, at the managerial level, We are co-creating programs now with various institutes to see to it that they are giving practical training and knowledge so that when the workforce comes in ready to be hired, they already have much more knowledge about what is expected. Even our processes and systems we are making in such a way, and the training we impart is such that we say it doesn't matter whether you'll work in DTDC or work elsewhere. As long as you're being better trained for the industry, overall it means the ecosystem gets stronger and better. I think that is going to be an important piece. I think we have a lot to learn from probably how countries like the Middle East solved for it. There is a talent imbalance, I would say. Certain states which are very rich, economically well-to-do with, do not have the right kind of talent to provide. Let's say I'm talking about the labor part of it. Other states are desperately looking for those opportunities.
Correct.
How can we create an ecosystem where we take care of not just their work, take care of their living conditions, their hygiene, their families, their own education, their children's education and safety. We have to think deeper. And again, there, whether it is institutions which are looking for the upliftment, whether it is state governments, central governments which are creating programs for the better livelihoods for these people, or indeed companies like us. And here I think we should be very open-minded. I don't look at talent as a competitive problem. I think it is a collaborative problem.
Yes.
We need to work, and we are trying in many cases to work with our fellow players of the industry to say how can we create a good pool, trustworthy pool, very, very sanitized pool, who can then work. And as per opportunity they go. It's a choice. But if we know that more population of well-trained, well-deserving people are coming in, they are improving their quality of life, we are helping them get better, then in the long run, we'll create a sustainable workforce, right?
Absolutely.
Of course, at the labor level, but even when it comes to the managerial talent or the entry-level managers who sometimes come from the grassroots and then want to, step into the managerial world, I think investing on them is very important. We are hopeful that by the same time next year, we will have our first in-house learning academy live in Bangalore, which means that all new employees and all new partners that join us will all get a chance to, first of all, go through training at that learning academy, where they'll get to experience and live the life of an ideal DTDCian and experience it. And hopefully when they pass through that, they come back, graduated and ready to handle it. And someday, maybe 3 or 4 years' time, we want to throw it open as an open academy that anybody interested to learn how supply chain and logistics works should be able to come in there and get.
Beautiful. So, we are moving towards, a couple of questions are still remaining. The 4 big or maybe 3 giants of the global logistics, I'm not naming those organizations, are not at all from in India. Of course, they are largely from the developed country, particularly in the courier and the logistics world, shipping in largely from the European country, right? So how do we see DTDC become a challenger for those giants?
Great question, Amit, very close to my heart. You're right. I think gone are the days when we used to say, we want to work for the MNCs, we want to get the best degrees and all of that, and someday settle down outside India. And I'm starting my answer from that perspective, because if we don't understand this cultural shift and this aspirational shift, then we cannot connect ourselves with it and therefore plan for our future. Today, DTDC is the first Indian and probably the only Indian multinational express logistics company, right? Yes. And we take that responsibility very seriously. We ourselves don't see anymore that we are just an alternative or we are just one of the player amongst them. We believe that just as this new India is very resurgent, very global, as much as we would like to see a Shubhanshu Shukla or whoever those generation of astronauts be the first people on the moon, this India doesn't want to only create for India. India wants to create for the world. And if you think about it, Amit, that with India's 1.445 billion population, if you look at the South Asian countries which identify themselves more with India as a leader of the South, if you look at our global diaspora, we are talking nearly 33% of the world's population is somewhere or the other connected
with India.
So I believe when an Indian company will create global solutions, whether in logistics or anywhere else, the first thing is that South Asians and Indians would like to trade with it. Because I know one thing, Indians don't have choices, that's why they choose. But if they got choices, they would like to choose Indian brands first. So our first mission, at least for the next 5 years, is how can we be the first choice of Indians and South Asians wherever we are present? And that itself is such a large demand pool that, at least 2 or 3 such giants can be created over the next 5, 10, 15 years. And I do believe DTDC will be one amongst them that's going to create.
Absolutely. So we are carrying that dream and we are nurturing that dream.
Absolutely. We are very positive and gung-ho about it. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Great. Love to hear that. So 2047,
yeah,
Bikasit Bharat. How do you paint DTDC's picture into it as a CEO?
Very, very interesting question. I know whether you call it sometimes crystal ball gazing kariye ya fir sochiye. At 2047, if I think about it, I'm going to be 60 plus at that time. Chairman will be in his 90s. And I know with his kind of drive and this thing, touch wood, we know he'll be around and there to support us. We would have finished 57 years of operations. So seems a little bit distant into the future, but I can just tell you that the first thing that comes to my mind is that we will do much more than logistics and supply chain.
Oh, great. So diversifying approach.
Absolutely. We are a network organization. We know how to connect people.
Yeah.
We know how to touch lives.
More than the logistics network, I call it a human network.
Absolutely. We are entrepreneurial. India was, is, and will always be the heart and soul of entrepreneurship globally. Because the way India does entrepreneurship, nobody can do it.
Correct.
Our entrepreneurship is not about you win or I win. Our entrepreneurship is all about we all win together, which is why if you see one of the taglines DTDC says, let's grow together. But I see that with the generation of talent that we are bringing in, with the new aspirations of Indians, the new kids who are coming into the business, with our channel partners' kids joining us, our employees' kids now beginning to join our business. I can't comment what my kids will do. Hopefully, one of them will pick up the tab if they feel passionate enough, or we create enough ambition for them. But I see that we will be doing multiple things. Supply chain logistics will be the heart and soul because any business needs good supply chain. But we will do much more than that. We're going to be in. My goal is in 2047. Every day, more than 75% of Indians should get to touch and experience DTDC and its related businesses in their lives. Every day.
Great.
That's my dream. Whatever it takes to get there is what the journey ahead of me is and my team is.
Absolutely.
But every day, 75% of Indians are experiencing, touching something to do with DTDC in their lives in 2047.
Thank you, Abhishek. Wish you all great luck for this. Logistics Shakti has created this particular platform for the learning of logistics industry. So this podcast has been, the media has been created. So any message or any suggestions you would like to give for our Logistics Shakti team?
Sure. No, I think Logistics Shakti is a fantastic platform. Our industry used to be an industry where people used to say earlier, कुछ और नहीं कर पाओगे तभी इस industry में तुमको मौका मिलेगा. Or people, I remember even those days people used to say कि जब तक logistics में हो शायद तुम्हारी शादी नहीं हो पाएगी क्योंकि कोई तुमको join नहीं करेगा. But from there, the way the industry has transformed. Everything is working great for our industry, but what was missing probably was an organization that wants to talk about this industry, create knowledge about this industry, engage people in this industry and show how great this industry is and how many opportunities it can create. I think Logistics Shakti, in my view, is the first organization that I'm seeing really doing it. And doing it not as some outsider, but being an insider who has lived in this space, worked in this space, understands the challenges, but also sees the opportunities. Fantastic platform being created for learning, for attracting talent, for exchanging ideas, for doing problem solving, and ultimately creating a community that can grow and create the future. And as I was saying, if India has to be Viksit in 2047, logistics has to be Viksit 10 years before that. And probably great foresight to the management and leadership of Logistics Shakti that 10 years even before that, you've thought about sowing the seeds of that future. So wish you guys all the best. You're getting it right. Keep doing more power, more energy to all of you and more Shakti to all of you and bring more Shakti to us and the people of our industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abhishek, for taking this time out. We'll continue to keep, bringing you time and again and sharing more and more about DTDC's progress, your own progress and logistics progress. Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, Amit. It's been a pleasure.